Recording with audio, nice. Nice. All right. Oh, feeling a little bit sick still, but we got it. Welcome back to God's Autobiography. My name is Stephen French, and this is probably one of my favorite stories so far. It's a story about the time that I most thought I was gonna die. Somewhat induced by a little bit of cannabis paranoia. It's a cute little squirrel walking the power lines. I don't quite know where to start this story, so we're gonna start back kind of far. This might be one of the longest stories for now, but I think it's kind of worth it. I think it's really, really funny, and it was a little scary from my perspective at the time. All right, so the story takes place in Arizona, but we're gonna go back a little bit before that to Texas. When I was a kid, as I mentioned in a different video, I traveled a lot, mostly lived between New York and Texas. Every time I came back to New York, I always went to Cherry Valley, Springfield, little town upstate New York. Well, two towns, but Cherry Valley, Springfield. I went to that school exclusively. In Texas, I feel like I was in a different area every time, different part of the state. I'm not too sure. I was little, but always meeting different kids. Rarely had the same friends. But there were two kids that I remembered from back then. One of them was this kid Ronaldo, my best friend growing up. Every once in a while, his family would come up to New York and visit us there. We'd always meet up with them when they moved down, or when we went down to Texas. They ended up living a few different states, and they landed in Colorado. So when I moved out to Colorado last year, my first day there, I got to meet up with Ronaldo, one of my childhood friends, hadn't seen in so many years. It was great. And what was really neat for me is when I moved down to Arizona, I had the same type of experience, meeting up with somebody who I hadn't met in a long time. Although not someone that was quite as personal to me. But I get to Arizona and I get a message on Facebook from a name that seems kind of familiar. I recognize him as one of my brother-in-law's army buddies. I met a few of. I only got to know a handful of them, but I enjoyed the company of everyone that I met. But it's like, hey, I just saw that you moved down to my area. I was wondering if you need someone to kind of show you around the state. So on his birthday, actually, he picked me up and we drove around, and he showed me all different parts of Arizona. It's awesome. We drove up to some like really beautiful mountain areas. We just got to see part of his like hometowns, like where he grew up originally. And it was really neat. Really appreciated it. But we had stopped somewhere. He had an oil pen, like a vape THC pen, and unlike all of the pens that I'm used to, it didn't blink. Like all the pens that I've used prior, you hit it and you pull for 3 to 5 seconds, and the light at the end will blink, saying, hey, stop inhaling, you're high enough. And his pen just didn't do that. So I hadn't really been smoking in a while. Tolerance pretty low. I hit this pen, and I hit this pen, and I hit this pen. I'm just still hitting this pen. And I'm like, damn, maybe I should just stop, because it is just not gonna blink. Didn't realize I had taken one of my biggest hits. I had just extremely high, really fast, and that kind of kicked me off into pseudo paranoia. And that's kind of where everything went south. But we'll keep going. So along our drive, I think we might have been in Tempe, we might have been in Mesa, we're somewhere in Arizona, and he's like, hey, a Marine buddy of mine wants to meet up. He just wants to wish me a happy birthday. I was like, sweet. So we go and we park like right in front of a parking garage, and this guy comes out of the house, or out of the I guess building complex, and they're talking. They get out of the car, they're talking for a little while. I'm kind of high and just really paranoid, and just kind of in the car, in the truck, just sitting in my mind, I guess, thinking back, trying to see, like, it's like, fuck, I don't really know this guy. Like, his name seems familiar. I'm pretty sure I met him once. I met him, it turns out it was 2007. He came over for Thanksgiving dinner at my family's house. It was the only time I'd met him. I think. But his name just didn't quite seem familiar. So I start thinking back, being paranoid, reflecting. There's another name that came to mind. That, well, I guess the name didn't, but another character came to mind from that circle. And I remember my sister telling me that one of the military buddies that I met, one that was really nice, was good friends with my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, he got involved with some shit where I think the verdict was that he and some other people shot somebody in their car and then ran away. Like they fucking killed somebody in their car. That's all I can vaguely remember. And I'm thinking like, fuck, I have no idea what that guy's name was. I have no idea if this is that guy. And everything seems chill. I'm having a good time up until then. But after having hit that pen too hard and kind of reflecting back, and now we're in like the outside of some parking garage, meeting up with someone randomly, like, why'd this guy pick me up on his birthday? Like, why isn't he out, got something better to do on his birthday? Pick up this kid he met fucking 10 years ago and drive him around the state. So I don't know, I'm freaking out. Eventually, he gets back in the truck. The Marine guy, he heads out. I'm like, okay, cool, we might have dodged something. But I send my sister a text, and Kelly, if you ever end up watching this is what that text means. I've never told him about this. I probably want to get down to Arizona, but I text her his name. I said, hey, do you remember whoever? I don't know why I'm not using names this time. He probably doesn't care. And I imagine I'll tell him the story because it's funny as fuck to me. But I was like, what do you think about him? And it was just really like confusing text, and she didn't get back to me, at least not for a while. So I'm like, Kelly, you gotta fucking get back to me. You need to let me know. I was like thinking, if this is the guy that killed somebody, she's gonna say, like, that's what she's gonna lead with. That's like probably the most notable thing about that character. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I am extremely close to just opening this door and running for my life. Like, I'm the highest bird. I am freaking out. Am I about to just full sprint right now? Am I about to go from like sitting in a car to just running down some city that I've never been in as fucking hard as I can? And I'm just like sitting there like waiting, like, Kelly fucking text me, Kelly fucking text me, Kelly fucking text me. So the guy, the military guy, Marine guy, he goes back home. Friend gets in the car. We pull into the parking garage. Like, we were sitting outside of it. We could U-turn, go away. So we pull into the parking garage. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem to line up with like the notion of, hey, let's keep going. And like, he skips a couple spots and he just keeps driving further and further back in this parking lot. And like, he's just going all the way to last fucking spot. And he pulls into the last spot and there's a support beam there. And he pulls in so fucking close that if I needed to open my door, I couldn't. And he just keeps kind of wiggling in closer and closer to this fucking support beam. So to kind of give myself a chance and also pretend like I'm helping, I unbuckle, I roll down the window, and I start looking out like, all right, you can keep going, you can move, just trying to pretend to be helpful when really I'm thinking like, how fast can I climb out of this fucking window if I need to run away? And it just took, I don't know, it felt like 2 hours that we were in there. I know we weren't, we were there for like a couple minutes because all he did is he had kind of a hard time turning around, backed up, and we headed out. And it wasn't like 10 minutes later until Kelly had texted me saying that it's like, oh, I remember him, he's a super nice guy, why? I'm like, oh, you just drive me around the state, just curious if you remember him. But fuck, I was in my head so damn sure that I was gonna die. There was a good solid paranoid high part of me that thought that this was a guy who just for some reason kills people in cars. He hit me up when he saw an easy target, and he won. But no, the guy's great, super kind guy. He co-hosts an open mic. I'm excited to go hang out with him again. I saw him a few times when I was out in Arizona last time. Super chill guy, not someone who kills people in their cars. It was just real fucking funny, and I was really fucking scared. And I probably butchered the story, but that's okay. God's Autobiography, episode 15. My last day on Long Island. We're leaving tomorrow morning, so I might record another video today and upload that tomorrow. So it might look like I'm still on Long Island, but everything after this, I'll be in Arizona. Let's go. Oh, I failed that. Oh, roof light. Peace.